and welcome to Project Life Thursdays. I am back here with my Project Life family album, and what I'm going to show you today is going to be pretty quick, and I don't think this is going to be a long video at all. What we're going to do is the journaling for March. And originally I was going to do my April setup, which would be this right here, because I do have my April photos, but they are all mixed up with my week in the life photos. And so that's going to take me a little bit of time to organize and untangle all of them. And I just haven't had time yet to do that. So what I thought I would do today is I'm going to do all of my journaling. So I'm going to do journaling for this box here. We're going to fix this box and do journaling for this, and then journaling for this box. Now, I may do hand journaling for these two, like particularly for this one, I may just do hand journaling. This one, I might do some journaling on my computer, but then I'll also want to do maybe journaling for this. So a lot of this I'm going to do on the computer, and I want to show you how I do my journaling on my computer. And then I also might include the layout for here. Now, the last thing that I will need to do is do my stamping for my calendar, but I think I'm going to do that in my membership group today. Actually, I think I'm going to do a live and do this in that membership group. So you will see a photo of this probably next week when I actually do my April setup, because I will have my photos by then. So let's go ahead and jump in. I'm going to take you over to my computer, and I'm going to show you how I do the journaling on my computer. The first thing that I always do is I'm gonna measure these spots. Like right here, I will measure what my boxes need to be. So this looks like it is gonna be a little bit more than 2.5. So I'll probably do a box right at 2.5 and then by 3. So I'll know that that is how my journaling will go in here. There's two things that I use to print out my journaling. I will either use Epson Photomate photo paper, which is a little bit thinner than cardstock, but has a really great finish on it. So I will use that, or I will use clear sticker paper. So for this card here, I will use clear sticker paper. For this card here, I will use clear sticker paper, and the way that will end up looking will look like this. So this is a Project Life card that was in the Ali Edwards kit. I used clear sticker paper, and I measured these boxes out, did my journaling, and then stuck it onto the actual card. So it actually looks like I did the typing on the card. Same with this one here. I did the same thing here. I think that's the only ones and this one here, I used sticker paper as well. So let's go over to my computer and we'll start doing the journaling, and I will talk you through how I do that, and then we'll get the journaling onto these cards, and then March will almost be wrapped up. So hopefully I'm getting audio on here. So all I've done is I've opened up a Pages document. You could do a Word document if that's what you have. I like Pages. I'm an Apple user, so that's what I use. So on here, I have my page, and then there's a couple ways that you can do this. The first thing is you're always going to want to insert a text box. So you have your text box right here. You can see it. So you would measure what box you want, like how big your box is. Now I go over to style, and what I will do is I will add a border. I will make that a thin, so 0.5, and then I will also make it a light gray, because that is just gonna give me where I need to cut. Okay, so I'm gonna delete this type text here. Here's my box, and I said that one box was a little over 2.5. So I'm gonna do it at like 2.55. So you can see that that is the width of the box. You're always going to want to do that box slightly smaller. So if it's 2.5, then I always shave off about 5. So if the box was exactly 2.5, I would do it at 2.45. And that's just going to give me a little bit of room on the edges to make sure everything stays inside. So this is a little larger than 2.5. So I can do like I think I'm going to do 2.6. And then it was 3 inches. So we'll pull this down to 3 inches. And again, we're going to do a little bit smaller than 3 inches. So I'll actually do 2.95. So now what I'm going to do is now you have this box here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here to my options and I'm going to make sure that box stays on my page. I'm going to have the text wrapping on that to none. And then we're going to lock the box. So now that box is locked. And that's going to be the box that we cut. So now what we're going to do is we're going to insert a text box. We're going to bring it back up here and we're going to insert it into that box. And then we can come over here. And I have a font that I use for my journaling. It might be in my, it's not, I've done editing work. Okay, so I'm just going to come down and find the text that I use. I'm going to fix my size. And then this is where you would put your journaling. And you can see that it will just stay right inside the box. Okay, so then here, what I can do is I can figure out all of my spacing, where I want things to be. I can also come down here to spacing, and like before or after a paragraph, I can adjust that. And sometimes I will use that if I need to. You can also do the line so you can make your journaling closer together, and I will oftentimes adjust this one so that I can get more journaling in. Okay, so that is one way that you can do it. And so what I would do is I would look through my entire spots that I'm journaling for, and I would start adding all of my boxes. I would do a one page I would do so that I could print it out just on my photo mat paper. And then I would add another page. And then this page, like the second page, is what I would do when I was doing all of my stickers. So like my sticker paper. So this page I would know, just put in the Epson photo paper and then print that. And then, oh, what I need to do, where did that journaling go? Right here. So you need to make sure that your journaling boxes are always going to be arranged with stay on page and text wrap none, and then it will stay in there. And then you can also lock that in there when you're done. But I would know, like, put my Epson photo paper in first and then do my paper of sticker paper. And with my sticker paper, I'm going to make sure that all of my journaling is going to fill up this page so I don't waste that sticker paper. And I will show you how that looks once I print it, and then when we're cutting it, I will show you that. So the other option that you can do, if you get Ali Edward digital products, which I do get the story kit digitals, I don't get the story by the months. So I've just picked a journaling card, and you can see it here. This is not one that I'm using right now, but if you had the digital kit, what you could do is you're going to resize this. I just thought I would show you this option. So you're going to resize it so that it is 6 by 4, because that is the normal card size. I'm going to add a border to this. It's not really going to matter. But again, I always like to add that border so I know where to cut. So I'll do that same light gray border. We're going to lock. We're going to make that stay on the page. We're going to do the text wrap, and we're going to lock it. So now that box is locked on here. Then what we're going to do is we're going to insert another text box. We're going to make sure that it stays on the page. We're going to click that to none. And I'm not going to add a border to this one because I'm going to stick this text box into that space. Then I'm going to come up here to my text. I'm going to pick the font I always use. I'm going to center that text, size it how I want. And then what I'm going to do is start adding whatever I want. Okay, so now what I can do is I can copy it. So I just used my commands on my computer. So I did copy and then paste. Now this box is a little bit wider. So then I could delete this text and add whatever text I wanted. And then I would do that same thing where okay, let's copy it and then paste it and move it over here. And then that looks good. And then I would add my journaling. Now, the next thing I would do is if I had this card in physical form, what I would do is I would unlock it and I would delete it. Now I know that that journaling is going to perfectly fit in that card, and I would just print it out just like this. Now you can grab these, you can group them together, and you can move this. And then you can add all your journaling. So that is another way that you can do journaling using a card from Ellie Edwards. If you have the digital form, you could also just print that out or run the card through your printer. I like using the sticker paper. It just is what works for me, but there's several different options of how you can do that if you have both the physical and the digital form. So what I'm going to do is do all of my journaling, and then I will give you I'll show you a screenshot of how I have that set up on the paper. And then we will print all of that and add it to my actual Project Life album. All right, so we're back over at my crafting desk here. And what I have is I have my journaling printed out on my photo Epson paper, and then I have my journaling printed out on my sticker paper. So now there wasn't that much. I actually prefer to do journaling on my sticker paper, like for several months or several situations. Like I probably would have rather have batched this into like week in the life. Just so that I could fill up a whole sheet. But what I will do is I'll just stick this into the container with my, like the original packaging, and then I'll use this to I'll stamp on it to add things. Like if I want to stamp like a word out or something and then add it to a journaling card or something, I can always do that, and I use it for other things as well. I just don't like to waste it. And this is the paper that I use. It is clear. It is a full sheet. It will run through your printer just fine. I have an inkjet printer, so it doesn't smear or anything. It does really well, and I use this for all kinds of things. I print stuff out for my planners and add things that way. I stamp on this and add it to different projects, and then I do exactly what I'm doing here. So let's go ahead, and what I'm going to do is speed through some of this, but show you what I am going to do. So the first thing I want to do is trim out my journaling that's just on the Epson photo paper. I will do the same thing for my Epson photo paper. I will keep it, I'll keep this strip to stamp on. But what I'm going to do is trim it out using the lines. And what I do is sometimes I'll just poke my trimmer blade right into the paper to see if it is where it's at, and that is actually right on that line, so I'm good on that. And then I can line it up. Once I get that first cut done, I can line it up. Now there's not a lot of journaling here, so I know where everything goes, but if there was a lot of journaling, I would probably need to be a little bit more careful. I've cut up all my journaling before and then not known exactly where everything was supposed to go. So I'm going to speed this footage up and I will just voice over what's happening. All right, so I'll just finish trimming out this journaling. When you're doing this, I just caution you to be careful how you're positioning your paper and your trimmer, particularly with the sticker paper, because if you smush it up against the trimmer, it will not cut straight. And you just want to make sure that you're cutting your pieces straight. With the sticker paper, you can align it a little bit differently, but with the Epson, and you're printing it, it's just, you need to make sure that it's straight. I used my tiny trimmer to trim off just a sliver so that it would fit on this card. I often like to use that mini trimmer to just get a little sliver off to make sure everything fits. And that looks really good. It fits perfectly in there and I like that. And then this one's gonna do the same thing on this other card. And I will layer that together. For this journaling right here, I actually just went online and copied the information about Jupiter and Mercury and like the planets aligning for that time. And I was actually able to add the date as well. We could see it from our front porch, and that's where I snapped that photo from. And I actually just snapped it with my iPhone. It actually worked totally fine. That's how well you could see it. It's really, really tiny, but you can see it up there. Okay, so the second thing that I'm going to do is fix this card. I had originally cut it apart thinking that I would use it in another place, but I didn't. So I'm going to add a little bit of glue to the back of this one photo, and then that's just going to hold it in place. And then I will add my journaling to the bottom of that. Now this card is a cream color and my journaling is on that white Epson photo paper. So it is going to stand out, but I just make it slightly smaller. I trim right around that journaling, and then I'm going to place it on there, and I'll just align it, and it will absolutely show that it's not perfect as far as like the coloring is a little bit different, but it will just look like a layer. And if I hadn't cut that card, I would have used sticker paper and then the coloring wouldn't have mattered. But that is also why I don't do the boxes exactly. I always do a little bit smaller than the box, and you see that everything fits on there really nicely. So I added that card to that piece. And then here I'm going to start doing my sticker paper. And this card here, the currently card, you are going to see that it does not end up being perfect. I don't get it perfectly aligned. I should have been a little bit more careful with that. I was thinking I could just add this journaling piece right onto the card like as a whole sticker. And then I decide that I'm going to cut each piece apart. So I do that. And then you'll notice where it says spring break. The reason that I really enjoy doing my journaling on the computer is because I can use different fonts, and you're going to see that for number 4, I just do spring break and I do it in a fun font. I love the way I see other creators do their journaling where they will do like really wide journaling, or like if you watch Ali Edwards, you see that she often does different styles with her handwriting. I am not that good. Like I cannot do all the hand lettering. And so doing it on the computer allows me to do that. So what I started doing is taking the sticker paper, and instead of trimming it right close to the journaling, I left that little piece, and it was enough that it went over the number, and then I thought that that would help me align it better. It actually was fine. I just, on this number 2 spot, I should have added my journaling a little bit higher, and then it would have worked out for the rest of the journaling. Like as I did 3, that was a little bit lower than I wanted it to be, and so on. And then I did drop that sticker paper right on there. It is not repositionable, so you need to be really careful when you're using it, because once it goes down, like it did tear my card a tiny bit, but I was able to fix it. And I will show you a close-up of that journaling card, and you will see it is not lined up perfect. It is not exactly, I'm not going for perfection. If I was going for perfection, I would probably do a lot of things differently. I would do it all different. I would just do it digitally, right? I would just do the app and then I would never have to worry about it because everything would be perfect. But this is part of the process. So I just encourage you to lean in and not expect perfection when you're doing this. And as I do this more and more, as I use the sticker paper more and more, I get better and better at how I'm doing it, and I understand the way it's going to work. And so all you can do is try, and you see that it is not perfect, but I love the way that spring break looks on there with a different font, and I really love the way these cards turn out. So I just encourage you to keep trying, and you'll get better, and it will look better, and nobody is expecting it to be perfect. Nobody's going to look through your albums and be like, that, you know, font is off, or that journaling is off, or you misspelled that, or that's not what people are looking at when they're looking at these albums. So the next one I have is this March 3 Things card, and I've really been enjoying using that card. It is one that comes every month, so it has like January 3 things, February 3 things. It's the card that I'm using consistently in the album, and I really like that. So that journaling will go on there. But then I wanted to add this, it says Finding in March, and then I wanted to do Family Movie Night. So I did that same font that I used for the other card that said Spring Break, and I just added that, and look how perfect that is. If you get up close, you can see the edge of the sticker paper, but really when you're just looking through it through the page protector, you cannot really tell that it is sticker paper. So I'm just going to do the same thing where I trim this down. The March card, I feel like comes out better than the other card does, and that is because I don't have a ton of journaling, and I can just, you know, line that up. So that works out really nice. And then that card will be done. And then I will go ahead and add some hand journaling to the lined card. I feel like it's harder to add the typed journaling on the lines. It's just harder to line things up, and the sticker paper, like the lines are going to show through, all of that. So I apologize for my head here, but we'll just go ahead and add this journaling to this card, and then we will jump into the rest. All right, and that is going to wrap up March. All I have to do is do my hand journaling in this one spot, which is totally fine. I will do that. I think I just have one spot that I'm going to do hand journaling. I might add a little bit of journaling to these circles, but that will wrap up March. I will do this layout another time for you guys. My camera's about to die, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. But I love the way the journaling came out. It's certainly not perfect, but I am never aiming for it to be perfect. I'm aiming for it to be done. So while I do like to take the time to do things like this, like type my journaling up and add it in that way, I also want to keep up on it and keep make sure I'm not falling too far behind. And if ever there is a moment that I'm falling really far behind, I will just hand journal and call it good. I hope you're all having a great day, and I will chat with you guys in my next video. Make sure to tune in for my video for tomorrow, which is continuing my craft room cleanup. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you so much for being here and checking out my video. On the screen here are 2 additional videos that you can check out. Make sure you check out my Project Life Thursday series here on YouTube. Every Thursday I am in my Project Life album and sharing with you. If you can hit that subscribe button, that would be great, and hit the like button, and I will catch you in my next video.